Good day and very warm welcome to this meditation experience. Delighted that you have joined. And today we're going to talk about a certain quality of mind. And I know we love the idea of a peaceful mind, even a critical mind, being a critical thinker. We describe the mind in so many ways. Really, we ask a lot of our mind, don't we? But lately, I've been thinking a lot about a royal mind. I'm kind of obsessed with this idea of royalty. And I'm using this in a very pure way. I'm not talking about a worldly concept of royal, but what a royal soul is like, a royal being is like, in the very pure sense of that word. So gracious, such a bestower, such a leader. And this kind of character would first emerge in the mind. I find that's a very sincere place to look to know what's really going on inside. So a royal mind doesn't have to just be with those who have a royal title. Any of us can embrace a royal mind, but it really depends on being seated on the position or throne of royalty. So let's get ourselves into that alignment inside and just see how our mind naturally starts to work. So sitting comfortably, even seated in a royal way. So very engaged, very interested, very alert. And starting to pull my attention into a single focus, not through violence, but again, through the power of keen interest. There's a topic I want to explore, and I'm recruiting my inner resources, my attention, to help me explore that topic, giving myself permission to put aside worldly thoughts just for the moment. And that frees me to turn inwards, to go deep into my own inner world. On the surface of my inner world, there can be a lot of remnants of the outer world as revealed through my mind, thinking a lot about what I need to do or what's been done or other people or different situations or even the past and future. My mind in a very ordinary place, thinking about day-to-day life. I observe that and draw my attention as if beneath the mind, going deeper. What drives the activity of my mind? Many think it's the outer world, that my mind simply is reacting constantly. But actually, it comes from inside. What's driving my mind is actually the sense of self. If my sense of self is so determined by the outer world, the body, the position, the opinions of others, then of course it will feel like my mind is reacting to the outer world. That's where my sense of self is. But let me bring my sense of self where it ideally belongs, here, inside. See how that affects my mind. I am the one who is reflecting at this moment. Not even the body, it's me, the thinker, the observer, the one paying attention, the one who holds attitudes and expectations and desires and perspectives and dreams. All of that non-physical activity is coming from me, the being here inside. exploring a sense of self that isn't defined by the outer world. In fact, I am separate from physicality completely. I am a non-physical being, but I still exist. I'm just not physical. I am energy, living, feeling, thinking, believing, remembering, spiritual energy. What a wonder. I am the life in this body. When I think I am physical, it even changes my personality. I become very needy, wanting to take from the physical world. But when I remember I'm not physical, I'm this wondrous being, a soul. And within me are things of great value. All those things that we call quality of life reside within me, life itself. Peace, kindness, patience, integrity, joy, lightness, even humor. All of it starts from me. It's when I forget that a shadow comes over those qualities of life. When I remember, they are illuminated. I am seated in a different sense of self. I, the soul, seated here, operating from behind the forehead, using the senses, looking out through the eyes, listening through the ears, operating through the body. But I am separate. And I am of great value, holding these qualities of life. Having an experience of myself that is self-contained, completely independent of the outer physical world, is both liberating and very empowering. This is a seat of power, not force or violence, self-mastery. I have used my own mind to create this experience of myself. Very, very beautiful, elevated, authentic, timeless, precious, spiritual sense of self. And as I become deeply rooted in this experience, the flow of energy shifts. My mind carried me into this seat of beautiful power. And now from this seat of beautiful power, I give energy to my mind to operate in a completely different way, very naturally. How I think and therefore feel about myself starts to change. I start to like myself, not based on any external conditions, free of external validation. I am at peace with myself, valuing myself. I start to understand the story of my life in a different way. I now have compassion for myself. And even the way I start to think about others naturally starts to shift from this seat of beautiful power. I don't think about others in a superficial way. I don't think about others according to their physical body or even the activities they may be performing at a given moment. I have a very deep way of thinking about others, very royal. The royalty of respecting others. They have their own story. They definitely have their specialities. I cannot impose my own beliefs, ideas, or even story onto someone else. I respect them as souls with their own independent worth. And I start to think about situations in a very different way. Situations are not coming to harass and disturb me. And situations are not just to please me. I'm far more interested from the seat of beautiful power in realizing how much situations are invoking me to grow, to realize my full potential, emerge this full beauty of the self. Every situation is inviting me to fully be myself, I, the soul. Very different way of thinking as I move through the world, stable on this seat of spiritual, beautiful power. In fact, my mind has the power to see beauty everywhere, potential everywhere, solutions everywhere, growth everywhere. My mind becomes royal when I am seated on this throne of spiritual power, spiritual self-awareness. So royal, so gracious, so benevolent, effortlessly. My mind is naturally royal when I am seated in a real place inside. When I find my mind becoming critical, negative, or even petty, let me take this in the most powerful way. I understand I have come down from that seat of inner power. And the solution is simple. Use my mind to return to the seat of beautiful power. Start by remembering I am a soul. Om